He was a vibrant teenager, popular amongst his peers.
He was a lovable young man, very sweet, Kendrick Hart.
And he found a deep connection with a beautiful classmate.
They were just like two peas in a pod.
The future was looking bright for both of them.
But that promising future is cut short in a hail of bullets.
He was shot multiple times all over his body. The chest, his hands, his back.
The hunt for suspects will lead police on a high-speed chase.
They jumped out of the vehicle and take off on foot.
And a conniving plot to kill will be revealed.
You really don't want to get on his bad side. Like, something wrong with him.
He found out she had gotten pregnant.
You get a message from a pretty girl saying, hey, let's meet up, just the two of us. No teenage boy is going to turn that down.
He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I think police are ready to feel like you got scared, really.
As the investigation unfolds, loyalties will be tested.
He said that she snitched.
Oh, so dumb. He had to run, though.
And bonds will be broken.
I can distinctly remember hearing one woman screaming, burn in hell, burn in hell.
This was an act of rage.
December 8th, 2021, Clarksville, Tennessee. It's a chilly night in this historic community, about 50 miles northwest of Nashville.
Clarksville is a mid-sized city, which only has about 160,000 people, and it's on the eve of the holidays. So it's bright, it's cheery.
You got Christmas decoration in the yard, lights hanging from the houses.
But at 8:42 p.m., the peaceful night is interrupted by the sound of gunshots on the city's east side.
A bunch of phone calls started to flood the police station.
This is 911.
I think I heard a shooting. I heard a gun going off. Pop, 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 pop.
I heard about 10 loud bangs that sounded like gunshots, not fireworks.
Someone is in the middle of the street been shot. It's a male. Black male in dream. Hurry, hurry, hurry.
Police and emergency responders mobilize.
They're dispatched to the scene. Neighbors are frantic. Everyone runs out to the street to see what just happened.
A man was faced up in the middle of the street. His body was riddled with bullet holes.
I heard like, and I'm like, where's my cousin? And then we came out to find him and it was him.
First responders learned the victim is 17-year-old Armani Majors.
Armani Majors was a Nashville native who was currently living with his aunt's family in Clarksville.
Everybody loved him. He's always happy-go-lucky.
Armani was a young man becoming an adult. He was doing well in school, and he was doing well with his family.
So how's work been going?
Really good. I'm actually taking on some extra hours this week also.
I'm so proud of you.
He had a job at a fast food restaurant, and he was proud that he was earning money. He also knew how to prioritize things that really mattered to him, like God and family.
He and his family were very active in their church.
At his high school, Armani's outgoing personality made him popular amongst his peers.
He was very handsome, very charming.
He was a lovable young man. He was very popular, but most importantly, very sweet, Kendrick Hart.
But Armani held a special place in his heart for one particular classmate, 18-year-old Miracle Bailey.
How you doing?
All right, how you doing? Come on.
Good. I miss you today.
I missed you too.
They met each other early on in their high school years.
Miracle was a lot like Armani, and they instantly hit it off. They were very chill, and they vibed together.
Now, you want to come over after school today?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, cool.
They were just like two peas in a pod. She was a female version of who he was, and they stayed together throughout a long period of time.
They were your typical high school students, and they dated from freshman year all the way to senior year.
The future was looking bright for both of them.
They were doing good. They were just moving everything in the right direction.
But just 4 months into his senior year, Armani has been gunned down in front of his relative's home.
They realized that he was not only shot once in the head, but he was shot multiple times all over his body. The chest, his hands, his back.
They found 14 shots in Armani's body.
Armani's injuries are so severe, nothing can be done to help him.
Ultimately, he succumbed to his injuries, and they could not save his life.
Armani was already dead.
We're gonna need homicide here immediately.
When homicide detectives arrive on the scene, they too are struck by the viciousness of the crime.
Looking at Armani, the numerous gunshot wounds in his body, the thing that stuck out about it, besides the multitude of them, would have been how dispersed they were. The one that sticks out foremost in my mind is one through one of his fingers, which is consistent with putting up his hands in front of his face because of how rapidly the assault and murder took place.
Surrounding Armani's body, investigators find numerous .40 caliber shell casings.
The glisten of the street lights, you could very well pick up a lot of the shell casings that are out there.
But Armani doesn't appear to have been robbed.
All his belongings are still intact.
So it certainly spoke to a personal element. You're looking at somebody that knew this victim.
17-year-old Armani Majors may have been young, but he was already making a big impact on those around him.
His life was flowing. It was just flowing.
He was a high school senior who also worked at a local fast food restaurant. He had lots of friends and family that loved him.
But Armani's short life has come to a tragic end after he's gunned down in front of his Clarksville, Tennessee home.
Armani had been shot 14 times.
Investigators don't think this crime was a robbery gone wrong.
All his belongings are still intact.
When investigators pat down Armani's body, they found a small bag of marijuana as well as $50 of cash.
Could the marijuana be a clue to the killer's motive?
It wasn't a lot to go by, but they were trying to take any lead that they necessarily could, and they was thinking, could this be drug-related?
Investigators also locate a cell phone nearby.
They're not sure if it's Armani's phone or if it's a phone belonging to a potential suspect.
Then, investigators notice something unusual. Tire tracks cutting across a nearby lawn.
It looks like the gunman might have turned their vehicle around in the neighbor's lawn when they fled away from the scene. Unfortunately, there are only slight impressions in the grass, so the officers are not able to track them to a specific type of wheel from a vehicle.
In their search for answers, detectives turn to Armani's devastated family members.
There were a number of family members that showed up. It was a full house of love and support there.
I just can't believe this is happening.
They were completely distraught, but they were able to get themselves together enough to be able to tell detectives what they knew.
They were just with Armani moments before the shooting took place.
According to Armani's family, the shooting occurred after a trip to the grocery store.
They were putting groceries away when Armani got a video call on his cell phone.
Come on now. Let's get this stuff put up.
What's up? Hey.
So, is you coming outside?
Unfortunately, they didn't know who called Armani. They just noticed it was a female.
He had told his aunt that he was walking down the street and that he'd be right back.
Hold on. Hey, I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, honey. Come on, let's get this stuff put up.
That was the last time they saw him alive.
Right after Armani walks outside, they hear shooting. By the time they ran outside to check on Armani, the shooter was already gone.
It all happened so fast.
The family confirms the cell phone found at the scene belonged to Armani.
Investigators are eager to send the phone out for forensics.
Maybe they could identify who was he talking to when he got the phone call to come outside.
After speaking with the family, investigators canvassed the neighborhood for witnesses.
They spoke to a neighbor named Jackson Shepard, who lived right across the street from where Armani was shot.
Okay, Jackson, tell us what happened.
Jackson tells detectives around 8 p.m. he heard gunshots and went outside to see if anyone was hurt.
As he stepped outside, he saw a black Jeep Cherokee speeding away.
Then he saw Armani.
He saw Armani lying in the street, and he rushed to him to render aid.
He didn't just stick his head out of the door. He came out to attempt to save Armani's life.
After speaking with Jackson, police issue an all-points bulletin to law enforcement throughout the county.
I want to put out an APB for a black Jeep Cherokee. I want all patrol officers keeping an eye out for that vehicle.
And within minutes of sending out the alert, they catch a lucky break.
They were able to locate the vehicle and immediately started a high-speed chase.
Tennessee detectives are investigating the deadly shooting of 17-year-old Armani Majors, who was gunned down in a hail of bullets outside his aunt's home in Clarksville.
A neighbor witnessed the shooter speeding away from the crime scene.
I want all patrol officers keeping an eye out for that vehicle.
Just moments later, Montgomery County Sheriff's Police spot the black Jeep Cherokee.
Deputies viewed that vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed not far from the crime scene. Those deputies moved forward to pursue that vehicle.
And they attempt to initiate a traffic stop. However, the vehicle doesn't stop when the sirens come on. Instead, they started to pick up speed.
The officers pursued the vehicle on a high-speed chase, bobbing and weaving through the heart of downtown Clarksville.
Then in a residential area at Ernest Shelton Drive in Lincoln, the vehicle comes to an abrupt stop.
Two suspects jumped out of the vehicle and take off on foot.
The passenger of the vehicle takes off in one direction while the driver runs off in a completely different direction.
Officers are forced to make a split-second decision on whom to pursue.
This is common with most vehicle pursuits. When multiple people flee from the vehicle, officers are going to try and go after the driver of that vehicle on foot.
Unfortunately, the passenger was able to evade capture.
But the driver isn't so lucky.
Stop! Eventually, they were able to corner him.
Hold it right there, boy. Keep your hands up. Keep them up, keep them up, keep them up, man. Hold it.
They were able to handcuff him and take him into custody. They quickly identified him as 18-year-old Nashville resident Robert Holland.
And as they retrace his steps, police find more evidence that suggests Robert is Armani's killer.
They discovered a Glock handgun directly in his path of flight.
It's a .40 caliber, which matches the shell casings located at the crime scene.
When investigators process the car Robert has been driving, they make another alarming discovery.
The vehicle ended up actually being stolen.
3 days earlier, a man had reported the vehicle missing, alleging that a woman he met at a local hotel robbed him.
She also made off with his cell phone and wallet, but he never got her real name. She only went by the nickname of Barbie.
Could Barbie be the second assailant, the one who evaded capture? Investigators search the inside of the vehicle for more clues.
As soon as they open the door of the car, they're hit with the smell of marijuana. Then the police noticed a substantial quantity of what appeared to be crack cocaine hidden under one of the seats.
They also found 13 rounds of .40 caliber ammunition and a 9mm magazine.
But that's not all.
The thing that stuck out on that black Jeep was an orange fingernail in the front passenger floorboard of the vehicle.
So now detectives start to wonder, could this belong to the female who stole the vehicle?
Was she also the woman that called Armani just a few moments before he was shot?
So, is you coming outside?
Armed with this new evidence, detectives have a lot of questions for the driver of the stolen Jeep, Robert Holland.
I was able to return to our Special Operations Homicide Unit where I knew that Robert Holland was already seated in an interview room and waiting to be interviewed. Very first thing that stuck out to me about Robert Holland was the very bright red pants that he was wearing.
Cool talk with us? So we talk about why you're here?
Yeah, I want to know why I'm here. Yeah, I'm cool with talking to you about why I'm here.
Right off the bat, Robert denies everything, the shooting and the car chase. Robert insists that he was just in town visiting one of his cousins.
Mostly, when I come up here, I just be chilling, like getting away from my little brothers and sisters, you know, just chilling.
He even says he was not even in the getaway car. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I didn't even roll his car to me. I don't know nothing about no shooting.
Robert Holland's initial story was that he was just walking to the local convenience store to purchase Black & Mild, and the police started chasing him.
Yeah, I seen police running through the field. Naturally, I just got scared, really, and went crazy.
Robert also has an explanation for the black ski mask he was wearing when he was arrested.
You put a ski mask on
Yeah, it's really for my asthma, though. It's even because I don't be breathing cold weather.
The detectives don't buy his story for 1 second.
You have to push through the lie, and a provable lie is something that's paramount in any interrogation. So it was easy to prove that you were driving a vehicle because 2 law enforcement officers saw you jump out of a vehicle with bright red pants on, ran after you for less than a minute.
You're wearing bright red pants, man. I know. Like, that's the worst pants to wear when you're going to try to run from the police.
Investigators are certain that Robert is guilty. But who is his accomplice?
The other individual who fled from the scene is still nowhere to be found.
And detectives are no closer to getting that information from Robert. After a high-speed chase through the streets of Clarksville, Tennessee, police have a suspect in the murder of 17-year-old Armani Majors, a fellow teenager named Robert Holland. But Robert is refusing to play ball.
You were driving a car that was stolen and fled from the scene of a murder. You did that. Listen, no, you did.
Robert wasn't the only suspect inside the getaway car that night, but he refuses to give investigators any information on his accomplice.
Once it's clear that the officers are not going to get anything else out of Robert, they end the interview.
But they keep Robert in custody as they continue to work the case.
Several questions still remain here. Who was the other individual inside the car, and why did they want Armani dead?
Fortunately, the forensics team is able to crack the code to Armani's cell phone.
I could see an Instagram profile that he had been chatting with, and I took note of the name Barbie Dalmir.
Could this be the same Barbie that stole the getaway car?
They were using vanishing mode on the app, which means their messages disappear automatically after they were read.
Still, Detective Hughes could see that Barbie doll Mir was the last person Armani was in contact with.
Barbie doll Mir video called Armani minutes before he was killed.
And immediately after the shooting, she changed her profile name.
Barbie doll Mir changed her username to Mir2Shiesty and blocked Armani's account. To the detectives, this type of behavior was highly suspicious.
So in trying to figure out who this young woman was, investigators took note of the fact that both usernames included the letters M-I-R.
A lot of folks in their usernames have some vestige of their actual name in it if they don't use their full name already. Miracle was a name that another investigator thought off the top of their head that would start with Mir. And it was a simple narrowing down of a likely age range.
When searching their criminal database, one name stands out from the rest: 18-year-old Miracle Bailey.
Miracle actually had a gun charge from a few weeks prior.
Police waste no time reaching out to their new suspect.
I had sent detectives out to her home, and she consented to come down to the police station for an interview.
Miss Miracle? Yes, sir. Need water or anything?
As Detective Hughes sits down with Miracle, there's something about her appearance that immediately jumps out to him.
During my time interviewing Miracle Bailey, I had made note of her orange fingernails, of which she was missing 3 or 4.
They're the same type of acrylic orange fingernails as the one police found in Robert Holland's stolen getaway car.
The fact that it was in the floorboard of the front passenger seat gave more credence to the fact that she was in that vehicle.
You're aware that we're investigating the shooting, I guess. Is that right?
Yes, sir. In the interview room, Miracle tells detectives that she's already aware of the shooting that took place.
She says her sister is the one that told her the tragic news.
My sister texted me and was like, K7 got shot. She was like, yeah, he died. And I'm like, what?
So, you said K7?
Mm-hmm.
K7 was a nickname that Armani sometimes went by.
Miracle tells Detective Hughes she and Armani were once high school sweethearts.
How long did y'all date?
We was on and off for 4 years.
But according to Miracle, they finally called it quits for good a few months ago.
We just broke up because he was cheating on me, whatever. Like, he had a lot of girlfriends.
Regardless, Miracle says the two of them remained friends.
We just started being cool. We still were cool. We wasn't dating.
She suggests that one of Armani's other ex-girlfriends may be to blame for his death.
Miracle shares that what's going around on social media is that Armani was killed by his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend.
Her boyfriend posted man down on Instagram.
You know her name?
No, I don't know her at all. She posted like right after. She posted a video of her. She was in the back of the seat, and he had the gun. She was like flashing the gun in the video.
And you saw the video yourself?
Yeah, I seen it.
However, Miracle isn't able to provide any proof that this video exists.
Detectives begin to pick apart her story.
They asked Miracle why did she change her Instagram username right after the shooting.
She maintained that it was not an irregular thing for her to do to change her Instagram profile name.
I'm always with my username.
But Miracle denies ever blocking Armani.
She says a lot of people have the password to her account and could have done it.
Detectives then share with Miracle that they are fully aware that she was the one who was video chatting with Armani around the time he was killed.
Hey.
Hey. You coming outside?
Miracle is like, so what?
I told him good night when he hung up. I didn't hear no gunshots, no nothing.
But detectives still aren't buying Miracle's version of events.
Detectives begin to dial up the pressure on Miracle, and she starts to change her story.
that led to some truth coming out in that interview.
Still wouldn't even have it. No.
Like what?
She admits that she knows at least one person who would want to hurt Armani.
K7 had got me pregnant at all. And he hated K7's guts. He hated his guts.
Hours after 17-year-old Armani Majors was gunned down in Clarksville, Tennessee, detectives are speaking with his ex-girlfriend, Miracle Bailey.
Miracle denies having anything to do with Armani's murder.
But she admits she does know someone who had a grudge against him.
Because there's only one person I know. Like, but I don't think yeah.
Who?
He was my, I was saying he's my boyfriend, but he's not my boyfriend. And he hated, because K7 had got me pregnant at all. And he hated K7's guts. He hated his guts.
Miracle's new man is no stranger to police.
What's his name?
They call him Little Rob.
Little Rob, as in Robert Holland.
She confirmed that Robert Holland went by that name and that he was her boyfriend. And that obviously was what connected these two individuals together.
According to Miracle, when Robert found out she had gotten pregnant by Armani, he was furious.
Did you have a baby?
I had a miscarriage. And
so Little Rob hated him for that?
Little Rob hated him, period.
And when Robert learned Miracle was still maintaining a friendship with Armani, even after her miscarriage, it only fueled his anger.
The thing about Little Rob, you know, it's like you really don't want to get on his bad side. Like, something wrong with him.
But investigators think Miracle is more involved in what happened to Armani than she's letting on.
I'm not talking to inside your head. Now's the time for the complete truth.
Finally, Miracle caves to the pressure.
Okay, this is how he did come to me. We was riding around. We went to Wendy's.
While she and Robert were out, Miracle says she got a text from Armani.
Is that him? You texting on my face.
Robert was furious and thought that Armani was trying to make moves on his girl.
Rob seen me. He got mad at me. Started arguing. He was like, you with the all that. You know, we had a big argument.
You know I don't even like this dude, bro.
Just take me home, okay? Take me home.
All right, say that. We out.
I told him tell me off. He did.
According to Miracle, after she got home, Robert called her.
What do you want?
He told me to call K7.
And tell him what?
And tell him that I'm gonna be on the way. And I was like, what? I was asking him, what you number on the way? He was like, man, do what I say.
Miracle had claimed being on the phone with Robert Holland that Robert Holland's intent was to go sell him some gas, as she referred to it, which is known to be bad or fake marijuana.
I was like, what y'all on? He was like, it's cool, we squashed it. You want some gas? I'm gonna serve him.
Miracle says that she thought Robert was just going to go there to finesse Armani out of his money by selling him fake drugs. She says she never thought that he was actually going to kill him.
He knew he wasn't with someone fun, man. They hate each other.
No, but listen, I've never seen it happen before. And you can probably think I'm lying, y'all lied in the past, but I'm honestly giving y'all the whole truth right now.
Miracle admits that she did lure Armani outside, but she claims Rob made her do it.
He told me to tell him when I saw him, told me to do it.
Where were you at?
I was at home.
After sending some messages back and forth with Armani over Instagram, Miracle made the video call to him.
Hey.
Hey. So, is you coming outside?
Hold on. Hey, I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Hey, I'm coming on now.
All right, I see.
But after hanging up with Armani, Miracle says she got a bad feeling.
She couldn't get a hold of Robert for the next several minutes.
I just felt something was right. Then he wasn't not calling back. I didn't know that he was setting him up there. I promise you, I didn't know.
However, Miracle admits she stole the car that Robert drove on the night of the murder.
Tell me the circumstances behind you taking that guy's car.
Okay, so we was at a hotel and we drinking and stuff.
How'd you meet him?
On Facebook.
At a particular point, she felt uncomfortable.
You wanted to do what?
He wanted to
have sex?
Yeah. And I was like, I didn't smoke a shit with you,
So Miracle devised a plan.
So as he in the shower, I'm like, okay, what I gotta do, I just have to get the keys.
So while he was in the shower, you got to get up and...
Her response to that situation was to take the vehicle and leave from the hotel.
After wrapping up their interview, detectives begin digging deeper into Miracle's story.
Through forensic examination of her cell phone and her social media accounts, we were able to recover messages that were sent between the victim and Miracle Bailey.
Once Instagram came back and was able to produce the vanish mode messages, it shows in order how she had basically set the plan to have him ambushed.
She is actively trying to lure Armani out of his home where he is safe and direct him to the spot where he is subsequently shot and killed.
In the DMs, Miracle is insistent that Armani be alone.
In the messages, it is very clear that Miracle wants Armani to come outside alone, and she says this several times.
GPS data also confirms Miracle's culpability, putting her at the scene of the crime.
We were able to mirror GPS coordinates recovered from Miracle Bailey's phone with the vehicle pursuit itself.
GPS data shows Miracle in the getaway car as Robert sped away from the scene of the shooting.
Her phone, being the GPS tracker, allowed us to literally see the foot pursuit where Robert Holland was taken into place.
Hold it right there, boy. Put your hands up.
On December 13th, 2021, investigators charged the couple with Armani's murder.
Robert Holland and Miracle Bailey are both charged with first-degree murder.
And as the trial draws near, prosecutors get a helping hand from the last person they expect, Robert Holland himself.
When he made a phone call from the jail, Rod basically confessed the murder.
In Clarksville, Tennessee, teenagers Robert Holland and Miracle Bailey are facing charges in the murder of Miracle's ex-boyfriend, Armani Majors.
What set this case apart for me was that the victim was 17 years old and that the suspects were 18. You can tell that this was an act of rage.
During a recorded jailhouse phone call with his mother, Robert is angry and upset after learning that Miracle implicated him in her police interview.
What you been doing, Robert?
To prosecutors, this statement is a confession because he didn't say that Miracle lied on him. Instead, he said that she snitched.
On January 22nd, 2024, Miracle and Robert go on trial together.
When they kicked off the opening arguments, the district attorney, he said this was an ambush, point blank.
The state starts by methodically laying out all the forensic cell phone evidence. including the Instagram video chat.
Through DMs and video calls, Miracle used lies and manipulation to lure Armani outside to see her.
The last message that we have is from Barbie Doll Mir saying, "Walk up."
According to the state, the evidence clearly shows Miracle lured Armani into a trap.
She was actively trying to get Armani alone so there would be no witnesses and no one to help him.
The persistence of Miracle Bailey in those messages made it very clear that without her, Armani wouldn't have left that house.
Hey.
Hey. You coming outside?
Hold on. Hey, I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, honey.
Hey, I'm finna come out now.
Okay.
He genuinely thought he was going outside to talk to his ex-girlfriend.
Armani was just a 17-year-old kid. You get a message from a pretty girl saying, "Hey, let's meet up, just the two of us." No teenage boy is going to turn that down.
According to prosecutors, ballistics evidence proved it was Robert Holland who ambushed Armani, shooting him 14 times.
I don't think he even saw Robert until it was too late.
Robert Holland's gunshot residue test come back positive, proving that he was near a firing gun the night of the homicide.
Also, the shell casings came back to the firearm that was recovered from Robert Holland's path of flight.
Robert Holland, he was the one that pulled the trigger. There was just no disputing it.
But why did the couple kill Armani in the first place? Their motive is still unclear.
Police didn't feel like they got the full truth from either suspect.
Just like there's no perfect person, there is no perfect case.
But going off of Miracle's statement, it's possible the motive was pure jealousy. Robert was furious when he found out that Miracle was still in contact with Armani, and together they devised a plan to lure him to his death.
Regardless of how somebody came to be murdered, especially somebody as young as Armani, there's no reason for it at any time. There's no reason to lure an individual out of the safety of their home and in their life just because he talked to somebody at the wrong time.
We'll never know why Miracle went along with it. Only she knows that. But there's no question in the minds of prosecutors that she was just as involved in this murder plot as Robert.
After a 5-day trial, the case goes to the jury.
The jurors only took 3 hours to deliberate, and it was clear who they believed.
They found the defendants guilty of all charges, including first-degree murder, evading an arrest, and joyriding.
They both end up being sentenced to life.
Robert Holland just kind of stared blankly, just really staring at the table, not really moving. Miracle Bailey broke down crying. And likewise, the family of the defendants, they were definitely inconsolable.
High emotions spill out into the hallway outside the courtroom.
There is shouting and screaming. There is pushing. There is court officers diving into the mix, trying to pull people away. And I can distinctly remember hearing one woman screaming, "Burn in hell, burn in hell." And another woman screamed, "Your son and daughter put my brother in the ground."
2 life sentences does not bring back a beautiful smile and a funny young man with his whole future ahead of him. But it certainly is the least that we can do in any death investigation and any homicide, is to do everything we can as investigators to afford the justice that that individual deserves. His family certainly did love, and they miss him every single day.
She was more than just a big sister. Yeah, she took care of me like a mother.
Somebody said, "Are you ready?" And I was like, yeah, because I'm not thinking that this is my baby. They pulled the shade, and when they pulled the shade, I looked down and it was my baby. It was her.
What's your emergency?
I'm on 90 westbound under 41st Street, and there's a dead body laying on the berm.
There was bruising and scrapes on the body and ligature marks around the neck.
Another tip comes in. She lent her van to an ex. There was blood everywhere.
We were very shocked because nobody knew him, so now, how? What happened?
What I'm supposed to say? The truth!
He decided he would show her who's in control.
I try to think about her last moments. That stuff haunts me.
It's just before dawn on April 5th, 2010, in Cleveland, Ohio. Interstate 90 is starting to buzz with morning traffic when a highway worker passing through notices something out of place on the side of the road.
There was an employee with the Department of Transportation who drove by and he actually stopped and backed up. And as he backed up and got a closer view, he did realize that it was the body of what appeared to be a black female.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm on 90 westbound under 41st Street, and there's a dead body laying on the berm.
Right at about 6:30 in the morning, Cleveland police respond to the scene. They close the westbound side of the highway.
As the police arrived shortly thereafter, they did recognize the body as a black female, approximately late 20s, early 30s. They said that the body was in a soft fetal position, as they described it. Also, they did verify that the body was unclothed. They also recognized right away that there was bruising and scrapes on the body and ligature marks around the neck, which indicated that there had been strangulation.
Nothing at the scene gives the police any immediate clues about the identity of the victim. For now, she is classified as a Jane Doe. Her body is taken to the Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office.
There was information put out over the internet and the TV screens about tattoos that she had.
On the west side of Cleveland, Patricia Bradley watches the news with her daughters Nadia and Edna.
The news was always on in the house. I heard a man say like a body was found on the road, on the side of the road. I heard that the body was a female, a lot of tattoos.
The family grows concerned because the description matches their loved one, 26-year-old Angel Bradley Crockett. Angel hasn't answered her phone all day.
I kept her 8-month-old that night, and her 2 oldest children went to the east side with my cousin, and they watched them for her. She was supposed to come back that morning to pick up the baby, like around the afternoon time.
But Angel didn't come back.
When it happened, it was abnormal that she wasn't answering her phone.
She got kids. She would have never been away from her kids, never.
The news reporter then releases additional details of the person found.
She had tattoos everywhere. She had on her leg, the lower back, her legs.
I seen that flash on the news, and I'm like, ain't no way. And I called the coroners. I was describing her. Do she have this tattoo, that tattoo? She had a heart tattoo. And then she had her kids on her ankle, and she had like a big tattoo up her arm, and then she had like a big tattoo on her back. And it was the one on her back, and they was like, you guys need to get down here.
I prayed that because I believe in God. So I pray that this is not my child.
At the coroner's office, Angel's mother confronts her worst fear.
He took us back there, and they had this little room, and they had this big glass back there. I'll never forget it. Somebody said, "Are you ready?" And I was like, yeah, because I'm not thinking that this is my baby, you know. And they pulled the shade, and when they pulled the shade, I looked down, and when I looked down, I don't remember nothing else. All I remember is they carried me out, and I can remember them putting something up under my nose to wake me up, because I really passed out, and they woke me up. But it was my baby. It was her.
Angel Lucretia Bradley was born on August 1st, 1983, in Cleveland, Ohio.
In total, I have 12 beautiful kids. I was 22 when I had Angel, and Angel was my oldest daughter. When I first had Angel, you know, her dad was right there, and he just said, "That's my sugar bone." And ever since then, she was just happy. She wasn't a crybaby. She was a happy kid, and we all called her Sugar Bone.
Angel is the second oldest. I'm the fourth. She was the mother figure out of the clique. So we'll play house. And her definition of playing house is making us clean the house.
She was more than just a big sister. Yeah, she was a big sister, but she was that big sister. So she took care of me, clothed me, everything. She took care of me. Like a mother, like literally.
Angel grew into a beautiful young woman with a unique style.
If she step out, she's going to be dressed, she's going to have on her jewelry, and her hair is going to be done. That's the kind of person she was. Like, she's not stepping out the door without being put together.
In 1999, while still in high school, Angel had to grow up fast.
When she had her first daughter, I was 7. So she was young, she was 16. And I just remember her, I remember her coming home with her and everything, and she was just with us.
At age 21, she gave birth to a second child. By then, Angel was more prepared to take on the responsibilities of motherhood.
Her second baby, yeah, she grew up a little bit. She was more family-oriented. Not that she wasn't family-oriented, but she didn't go out as much. She was more home, like she became more reserved.
Then in 2008, Angel met the man she would marry.
When she met Johnny, it was like everything went fast. Like fast.
One thing I liked about him, he never treated her kids like they weren't his. He stepped right into, I think he liked being a father and having a family, because I didn't think he had that. With him, like, I seen a different, like, side of her or whatever. Like, it was like it changed good.
Angel and Johnny exchanged vows on August 8th, 2008. 1 year later, they welcomed a son.
She was in a beautiful relationship for the most part. From what I seen, you know, everything was beautiful. I mean, they had everything under the sun.
At that point, from the outside looking in, it looked like she had a good life.
But less than a year later, Angel's family makes a visit to the Cuyahoga County Coroner's Office that will change their lives forever.
They did go to the morgue to identify the person that the police had in their custody. They did indeed realize it was Angel.
I feel real bad for any mother to have to walk in there and identify their child. But I had to identify my baby because that's my baby, you know. She was my everything.
Even though Angel has been identified, Cleveland police find no other evidence along the side of the interstate where her body was found.
Because there was no evidence found, it was determined that Angel was not killed at that site, but was killed somewhere else and dumped at that site. So the police, as a result, have no idea where or why she was murdered, and everything about this case so far is a mystery.
Cleveland detectives speak with her family.
They were taking in accountability of our thoughts and, what we had to say. Because that first day, that's all we were. Who did this? Who did it?
Everybody was trying to really piece her night together and when the last time they seen her and the time frames and stuff like that and who the last person she was seen with.
Family members say Angel spent the previous day with them.
We had just came back from the IX Center amusement park. Everybody was getting ready to go out. It was Easter. So everybody is going out. She want to find a babysitter for the kids.
Angel's cousins volunteered to watch her 2 older kids, and her mother and sister agreed to take care of her youngest.
When she asked me to take care of the baby that night, she was going out to the club. I don't know what club, but she was going out to the club. I'll be back in the morning to pick him up.
Angel's family tells police that she had plans to meet up with a man.
I don't know his name. We just knew him as Smoke.
Angel and Smoke had known each other from the neighborhood.
I can't say she was in a relationship because they was just friends. I mean, what they did, I don't know what they did. I wasn't there, but they always was, was friends.
Angel was still married, but she was separated and estranged from her husband, who was in prison now.
They got into a physical altercation, and she was hospitalized.
We saw her when she came home from hospital because she came to our house, so it was just, heartbreaking. Nobody want to see their sibling like that.
That was the last time he put his hands on her, because she put him in the penitentiary. That never happened in her life, dealing with any guys, and that was the first time, and it was the last time.
The family says Johnny remains incarcerated. Angel was trying to move on with her life, but the family expresses concern that Johnny could be holding a grudge.
According to Angel's sister Nadia, rumors were swirling around that potentially Johnny had hired someone to kill Angel in revenge for getting him incarcerated.
The family is also suspicious of Angel's friend, Smoke.
She went to go meet him about 11 p.m. at night to go to the bar, and she was supposed to be coming back home afterwards. The bar closed at 2:30.
Angel's mother tells police that in the early morning, she receives a phone call from Smoke.
The guy is calling, asking us, where's Sugarbone at? And we was like, she was with you.
How are you looking for her if she was with you? And then he was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. And hung up.
A few hours later, Smoke called again.
He was like, I ain't trying to bug you or nothing to that effect, but it's just odd that she haven't called me or nothing to that effect. So that's when I got real worried.
According to relatives, Angel told them that Smoke always kept close tabs on her.
I know, she was saying, he was buggy. Like he'll drop her off and then call her. When you just dropped me off at home. And then if she didn't answer, he'll be calling my grandma's house phone or whatever to see was she over my grandma because she had her own house. At the time, I think she was in the process of breaking that relationship up with the boyfriend.
Angel felt that he was too clingy and a little possessive, and this was a red flag for investigators.
Based on interviews with the family, investigators narrow their focus to Angel's husband, Johnny, and her alleged boyfriend, Smoke. They reach out to the Ohio prison system and try to track down Johnny. And the family gives them a phone number for Smoke so they can start searching for him.
Then investigators learn there could be another explanation behind Angel's death.
She had a brand new vehicle. She had a lot of jewelry on her. The jewelry that she was wearing would definitely attract attention.
She didn't have any of this jewelry on her when she was found. And police learned that her brand new SUV is also missing.
Patricia lets the police know that Angel's SUV is also missing, so police put out a bolo for that vehicle, hoping that they can find Angel's killer.
In the midst of that situation, everybody was taking care of the kids. We were all over my grandmother's house, so everybody was taking care of the kids. And we talked to my nephew. He was too young. He was only like 8 months. The little girls, they were like 8 and 4. So I don't think the 4-year-old really understood. The 8-year-old understood because her and her mom were close. And, you know, they were just shattered and devastated.
They took it as good as they babies, as good as they could take it. The first thing they do is look up at me. You know, so I'm like, come on, you guys coming with me, you know? And that's what I did. I took the kids with me.
Hours after Angel Bradley Crockett's body was discovered on the side of the interstate, Cleveland investigators meet with the Cuyahoga County medical examiner to learn her cause of death.
It is determined by the medical examiner that the cause of death is strangulation and blunt force trauma to the head, trunk, and extremities. Angel was dead before she was placed on the roadside.
Of course, they had suspected this was a homicide and had treated it as such, but now it's official.
Cleveland police attempt to track down Smoke, the man Angel went out with on the night she died.
They were able to get a phone number from one of his family members, and they tracked that phone number to an address on West 33rd Street. They went to the address, but Smoke was not there, but somehow they found out that he was actually at Metro Hospital.
He was at the hospital because him and his baby mother had got into a physical altercation. That was the same night that Angel disappeared.
According to Smoke, after Angel left the club, he got into an altercation with his ex-girlfriend. The situation ended up in a physical fight, which is how he ended up at the hospital. He appears to be visibly scratched.
Because Smoke was the last person seen with Angel, and now with them finding him at the hospital scratched up, obviously the police's first thought would be that this fight occurred between him and Angel.
Smoke's story raises suspicions, and the police start to think that he could be a part of Angel's murder. The police decide to verify his alibi as the next step.
Police are able to confirm that the story he is telling is true. His time is accounted for the time they believe Angel was killed.
So the police were convinced that he was not involved and that his injuries had nothing to do with Angel's homicide.
The second suspect that the police look into is Angel's husband, Johnny, who's incarcerated.
At the time of her murder, her husband was in prison because of the domestic violence situation in their relationship. They think maybe her husband had something to do with it, you know, from jail, because they had just got into that domestic violence situation. And, you know, with her, you know, going to court, testifying, you know, people, you know, do crazy stuff.
When police speak with Johnny, he appears visibly shocked by the news. He expressed the same disbelief and grief as Angel's family and agreed to cooperate in any way that he could.
When the interview is over, investigators dismiss Johnny as a potential suspect.
Since Johnny was incarcerated during Angel's murder, he had an ironclad alibi.
With him being in prison, he couldn't have been there physically to injure Angel, and they ruled out any motive or any idea that he could have hired someone to hurt her.
Then, on Tuesday, April 6th, 24 hours after Angel was last seen alive, Cleveland police get a lead.
The police do receive a tip from a neighbor about an abandoned vehicle that had been parked on the street for 2 days.
It is an SUV, and it's identified by officers as the subject of the Bolo alert. This is Angel's car. It was located on the east side, about 5 miles from where her body was found.
Authorities tow the vehicle to the impound lot, where it can be processed for evidence.
There was no evidence in her car that was immediately helpful to the investigation. They were able to send some DNA samples off, but those will take time to come back.
The technicians who process the vehicle make a note of its condition.
They noticed what appeared to be some fresh damage to the rear end, which reportedly was otherwise in really good shape. And that was verified by her mother, Patricia. When they asked her about the damage, Patricia said that that damage was not there the day before. So this was new and fresh damage, which probably was evidence that something else had gone on in the vehicle or to the vehicle.
The vehicle had been in some sort of fender bender the night that Angel died. They had to consider on whether that had anything to do with her death.
Investigators dig deep, searching for any potential leads.
That's when an investigator made a potential connection between Angel's murder and a phone call that had come in a couple of days before.
Another tip comes in, and this person indicates to police that she lent her van to an ex on Easter Sunday. The ex returned her vehicle in worse shape to her than when she had lent it. The front end and bumper of her van was badly damaged, but it was what she found inside of her van that made her call police. There was blood everywhere.
There was front-end damage to her van, and Angel's SUV also had damage. Is this the vehicle that caused the damage to her car? Could that be her blood inside?
Three days after Angel Bradley Crockett's murder, Cleveland police contact a woman who called in to say her boyfriend returned her borrowed van with damage to the front end and blood inside.
The woman says that her ex-boyfriend, Stephen Davis, borrowed her van on Sunday, April 4th at about 10 p.m.
When she asked Stephen Davis what had happened to the vehicle, he pretty much just shook his head and walked away from her with no explanation.
For investigators, the timeline Stefan had the van is an immediate red flag.
And he did not return the van until Monday, April 5th, around 7 a.m. The 9-hour window matches the time in which Angel was last seen and when her body was taken from the scene.
They take a look at the van, which has already been towed to the impound lot.
There was a strong odor of chemicals like bleach and cleaning products. CSI took samples of what is clearly blood and fast-tracked them to get identification. The police immediately try to locate Stephen Davis in their system. He has a long rap sheet.
He had a violent past. He was convicted of murdering his aunt's boyfriend at 14 years old. He was convicted, found guilty, and was remanded to juvenile custody until he was 21 years old.
When he was released, Stefan continued to stay on the wrong side of the law.
After several guilty pleas, including a federal case involving conspiracy to trafficking cocaine, Davis was sentenced in 2004 to 50 months in prison.
So at this point, knowing now his history, the police are very well convinced that he is capable of murder. But the police are still puzzled as to the connection between him and Angel.
On Saturday, April 10th, the forensic testing from the blood in the van is complete.
Results of the DNA test from the blood in the van come back positive. They are a match for the blood that was taken from Angel's body.
Police do some follow-up. They find several eyewitnesses who saw Stephen driving the van the morning after the murder.
On April 11th, 6 days after Angel's murder, they place Davis under arrest at his mother's home. The 30-year-old surrenders without incident.
Stephen Davis is charged with aggravated murder.
That same morning, investigators sit down with Stefan, hopeful for answers. But Stefan appears shocked to learn of the charge against him.
My arrest for what in particular? Aggravated murder. Aggravated murder. Oh, you know Angel, brother? I've never seen her, never spoke to her.
Then they tell him that they know that he was driving the van with Angel's blood in it.
Okay, well, how does that link me to the murder? Because you were the last one with the van, but I wasn't the last one.
Stephan said he dropped his ex off at work. Then he took her van back to her house where he left it. He then went home at 11:30 on Easter and spent the night with his son.
The following day, she called my phone, like, well, what's going on with my vehicle? I said, what is he talking about? She said, one of my kids are in trouble. There was some blood in my vehicle, etc., etc.
Stefan says his ex told him her son was responsible.
She told me, like, one of these boys are missing. He's the one to help us.
Stefan says he went back to her house, but the young man wouldn't talk to him.
When I say, come talk to me, what the happened, tell me what's up, what's really going on, he wouldn't come downstairs.
His ex then asked him to help them clean the van out. And Stephan says he refused, and then he left.
I'm not about to put myself in those situations. I'm a single dad, once got custody of my son. I'm in college, everything is going great in my life.
He is adamant he didn't do it, and that his ex is just trying to pin this on him.
I don't know how they did it, when they did it, why they did it.
They were telling my mom, like, step by step about what was going on, what process, what evidence they did and did not have, and what was making sense and what's not making sense. Well, in the midst of all this, we just was really thinking that maybe it was just a random attack. We could sit and speculate and try to piece stuff together and play conspiracy theories, but I don't know. We were very shocked because nobody knew him, so now what happened? So we have a lot of questions, like what happened? Like, how did y'all come in contact with each other? How did y'all know each other? Because we didn't know him, never heard of him, never met him.
After being arrested for the murder of Angel Bradley Crockett, Stefan Davis tells police he believes his ex-girlfriend's son is responsible.
The police aren't buying this, though. They have witnesses who said they saw him driving the van the day after the murder.
Stefan remains in custody. 2 days after his arrest, he sends word to detectives that he has more to say.
I need to speak to you about my participation in this situation. Right.
They think that he's about to confess, but instead, he said that he was helping his ex's son clean out the van.
They said somebody was stabbed. One of their friends was stabbed in the car, and they helped me clean up because my mother gonna be pissed. I'm like, cool, not a problem. Not a problem.
And the only thing that you did was help clean the van.
That's it.
I guess we should just let you go then.
They know that he's lying, but he will absolutely not budge.
Tell us something different, because right now we don't believe a word you're saying on most of this stuff.
What am I supposed to say? The truth. I told you the truth. No, you didn't tell us the truth.
Investigators really need more, but they're not getting it from Stephan. But they do end up getting it from someone else.
Shortly thereafter, the police receive a call from an individual who states that they are Letitia Santos' cousin, and that she knows that Letitia Santos has been dating Stefan Davis. She believes that Letitia Santos has information about this murder.
Her cousin said that Angel's SUV was found near her house, and Letitia leaves with her sometimes.
The cousin reached out to Letitia after finding out that Angel's van was recovered 2 doors down, basically. She reached out to her cousin Letitia and said, "You have to let me know what's going on so I can help you."
Letitia responded hysterically, I don't know what he did, and I don't know why he would do this. Letitia said she was afraid of Stephan and frightened for her life.
The cousin also told the police that she hasn't seen Letitia since Easter Day. She asked where Letitia was, but she won't give up her location.
Unable to contact Letitia Santos, authorities issue a warrant for her arrest on a charge of obstructing justice.
Even though Letitia's location was not known because of the pressure from her family and from pressure from the police, on April 20th, she decided to call the police and to turn herself in.
She places Stephan Davis in the van on the night of Easter Sunday. She said she had gotten into a fight with Stephan in the van. He busted her lip and left.
Shortly after Letitia leaves, he sends a text saying, "I'm about to F." Letitia Santos texts back, "Go ahead."
She's saying she doesn't know what happened to Angel. Police don't believe this and to keep her in jail.
The next day, Letitia admits she was holding back.
She said Stephan told her that he got into a car accident with Angel. He said that Angel didn't have a driver's license or insurance, so Stephan convinced her to follow him to Charter Avenue, where he robbed and killed her and dumped her body. Letitia said she wasn't with him. She only knows this because he told her and asked for her help afterwards.
She said that he had threatened to kill her if she didn't help him clean out the van.
One thing she stays constant on, she was never inside Angel's SUV. So police asked her to prove it by giving a DNA sample, and she complies.
Letitia remains in custody as they wait for the results. When they come in, they prove that Letitia is still not telling the truth.
The DNA shows that at some point, Letitia Santos was in Angel's car, which means she still hasn't told police the full story because none of her accounts place her in Angel's car.
On April 22nd, authorities turn up the heat. They revise the criminal charge against Letitia.
The charges were upgraded to 1 count of aggravated murder. Both faced the death penalty if they were convicted of their charges, and at this time, both maintained their innocence.
Neither one of them are budging, but prosecutors want the truth, and they want justice for the family. They need one of them to talk before this heads to trial.
The prosecutors offer Santos a charge of involuntary manslaughter instead of the aggravated murder for her cooperation and willingness to testify against Davis.
On January 26, 2011, Letitia Santos talks to investigators again. This time, she promises the truth.
According to Letitia Santos, on April 4th of 2010, Davis borrows a van from his ex-girlfriend, picks up Letitia Santos. They go to a liquor store to buy alcohol and are drinking in the van.
They were riding around in the van drinking. When about 1 o'clock in the morning, an SUV pulled out in front of them, and Stephan ran into the back of the SUV. That SUV turned out to be Angel Crockett's SUV.
Angel becomes extremely upset about the accident because it was a brand new vehicle. When Angel asks Davis who's going to pay for the damages, Davis suggests that they go talk about it and get out of the busy street.
Angel didn't have a driver's license or insurance, so Stephan persuaded her to come with him so that they could try and settle this in a private matter.
According to Santos, on the way to this area, Davis and Santos conspired to rob Angel.
Stephan had noticed she was wearing a lot of jewelry, her nice truck, so he thought that she would have money. Stephan told Letitia, we're gonna rob her. And according to Letitia's account, she said, why not?
In early 2011, Letitia Santos tells investigators that she and her boyfriend, Stephan Davis, planned to rob Angel Bradley Crockett in the early morning hours of April 5th. When they arrived in Stefan's neighborhood, he and Angel's conversation about the traffic accident takes a dark turn.
So Stefan asked Angel to give him her money. She said she didn't have any. So he began to punch her in the face. Letitia Santos also admits that she punched Angel in the back of the head with a closed fist. Stefan Davis took the car keys from Angel and gave them to Letitia to tell her to go look in Angel's SUV to see if she had money in the SUV.
When Letitia returned to the van, the situation had escalated.
According to Santos, Davis beat Angel mercilessly and assaulted her in the van.
She was horrified and asked him to stop. After that, he told her to get in the driver's seat and drive. She said she was horrified, so she just did exactly what he told her to do.
Santos is driving the van and Davis is in the back. Santos looks in the rearview mirror and sees Davis strangling Angel with something that looked like a shoestring. She then doesn't hear Angel anymore.
Later that morning, Letitia says she helped Stefan dispose of the body on the side of the road.
Santos and Davis decide to go dump Angel on I-90. Angel was stripped of her clothing, 2 wedding rings, a watch, and a necklace. Then they drove back to get Angel's SUV.
Letitia says that Stefan had her drive Angel's SUV away from where the original crime scene was, where the murder happened. She drove Angel's vehicle to her street, 2 doors down from her house, and according to the report, strolled back to her house. The vehicle was subsequently recovered in that location, 2 doors down from Letitia's house.
Stefan didn't know Angel, but when she got upset over the accident, he decided that he would show her who's in control. He took his rage out on her that night.
On February 17, 2011, Letitia Santos pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter in exchange for her testimony against Davis. The decision to testify against Davis can be considered payback for all of the abuse that she had endured and maybe endured the night of Angel's murder.
With the truth finally exposed, Stefan feels the pressure.
A day before we get ready to go to court, I got called back down there, and they said Stefan Davis wanted to cop out to 40 to life. He didn't want to go to trial.
Instead of facing a capital murder trial, Davis decides to enter a plea of guilty to aggravated murder and aggravated robbery.
Angel's family faces the horrific details about what happened to her.
That's a painful way to go. To get beaten and strangled, So everybody was just devastated. You wouldn't wish that on nobody. And then just left in the cold. I try to think about her last moments, what was going through her head. That stuff haunts me.
On January 13th, 2012, Stefan Davis is sentenced to 40 years to life in prison.
I remember sitting there, I remember the judge asking people if they wanted to come up and say anything to Stefan Davis or anything, and people went up, people spoke about their experience with her and, let him know what he did to them. And I remember that he didn't show no remorse or anything. He just sat there and, yeah, it is what it is, real arrogantly, just, yep.
It was clear that this man needed to prove his power by showing women that he was in control through violence. That night, Angel was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and she paid the price for his anger.
40 years to life, that's not enough time because half of it's almost done. I don't think he should be released at all.
Less than 2 weeks later, Letitia Santos appears in court.
On January 24, 2012, Letitia Santos received a sentence of 10 years for aggravated robbery, abuse of a corpse, and involuntary manslaughter.
Letitia Sandals was released in 21. I think she should be still in prison. I really do.
People do more time selling drugs. She murdered somebody. Y'all kidnapped my sister, y'all beat her and strangled her, and y'all threw her body on a freeway. And you got 10 years for that? Make it make sense. I do not feel like justice was served.
I think the day that Angel died, like a part of everybody that knew her, not just family, a part of them was missing. She was just a big ball of sunshine. Like she entered the room was lighting up immediately. I know life would be different for all of us, for sure, if she was here, definitely.
I just want to let everybody know that Sugar Bone is gone, but she's not forgotten. And she's going to live on through her kids and through me and her sisters and her brothers. We're going to continue to stay strong.